Good morning, everybody. It's Mason Roach here with Mason Sonar Services. Got a pretty cool video for you today. We got 2 pontoons in the shop. Would you ever thought that? I mean, all we ever post is bass boats, center consoles, but no, 2 pontoons. We're doing very similar setups on these boats. Both are getting Garmin Live Scope, trolling motor, chargers, things of that nature. We're rigging these out though. This is pretty sweet. I mean, it's gonna be an awesome setup. So this pontoon's brand new. This is a Sun Chaser, and it's going to be a challenge for sure because, you know, we're all about making stuff clean and right here at the shop. And this pontoon is really set up to be family friendly. So, you know, to go out with the kids and tube and stuff like that, take the wife out on a little sunset, you know, ride. So in order to make it to where this customer can still do those things, but also go out and crappie fish and bass fish in it, it's going to be interesting. So for example, on the trolling motor up here, we're going to have a quick release bracket. That way he can take that off. Garmin Live Scope, we're gonna have a quick release for that as well. So everything's gonna be about being able to remove it and put it back on easily. So first things first, we're gonna take a look at everything and just kind of plan it out. We always wanna map out our install before we get it started, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we are up in the Sun Chaser now, just planning out our install. Noah actually dropped these 2 batteries in yesterday, so that's good, makes my life a lot easier. And right now I'm just kind of planning everything out. So this customer really gave us free range. He said, make it right, make it work, make it easy. And that's what we're gonna do. So right now, the only dilemma I'd say I kind of have is where I want to mount this 12-inch unit. Unfortunately, the way this console sets up, this is about our only spot. And I don't mind that per se, but I don't want it so tall that it's hard to see over. And also, you don't want to be covering these gauges too much to where they can't read the fuel and all that, you know, easily. So we're gonna have to really plan that and really look at that good before we start mounting anything. The Live Scope pole is probably gonna go somewhere around here. This customer stated that he kind of wanted everything where he could idle around and use Live Scope and also fish in this area. He didn't really want everything up front. That's totally fine. We can 100% meet that request. We are also gonna do a dedicated lithium battery, got it right there, just for the electronics. You know, he has a cranking battery in this boat, but we don't want him out there having to worry about killing that while he's sitting in a spot with grandkids or friends fishing. So we're gonna make that just a little bit easier on him and put a dedicated lithium. This whole compartment's really nice. There was just some life jackets in here. We're gonna make that where they can still use this, of course, but also make this where we can have a lot of our cable management, our Garmin black box, stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So we just got the charger mounted and the trolling motor batteries hooked up. As you can see, this is a mess in here. So we're gonna actually come through here, organize all these cables. If we need to take some terminal rings off, you know, to make that look even cleaner, then we will do so. Just kind of prepping right now, getting everything ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some zip ties, clean all this up, make it look good, and then we will show you in after. Looking much better in here now. Guys, it only takes like 10 minutes to come in here with zip ties. You might have to take a few, you know, these cables off the battery to make sure nothing's crossed and all that, but it's so worth it. This looks so much cleaner. It's organized. If you ever need to work on something, you know where it's at. You can see where it leads to instead of having wires just tangled up all over the place. So that turned out awesome. Really happy with that. Like I said, got our charger here. This is our 3rd bank. That's going to be for the lithium battery that we're installing. And we're going to put that over here, actually. That way it's closest to the electronics and the console. And then he'll still have some room for life jackets and storage and stuff like that. Mentioned earlier, we got to do an exterior plug. Probably going to do that somewhere over here or over here, just to make it easy for the customer to charge everything up. So let's go. We need to get this lithium in and start wiring up these electronics at the console. And yeah, we're making good progress, guys. Been good timing. Let's keep going. All right, guys, everything's been going good. We got the external plug in here. That way we can easily charge our batteries. Let's open this up. Got our lithium over here. We ran our cable really clean through the boat. That way it's not just super loose. We have these screws that actually have mounting, you know, something to hold this and mount to. And these screws are already there. I just added this plastic to make this cable hold. So that ended up actually working out really good. Got our tracker lithium here. This is a 100 amp hour battery. So this will last this customer way longer than he even really needs. But we're overkill over here. I got no problem saying that. We're overkill. We make sure that people don't run out of power. We use bigger wire probably than we even need to. But guess what? We don't get phone calls or problems. And that's what we're all about. So here's how we do our power here. This is 8 gauge marine grade wire. This inline fuse here is to protect the main run. And then we have individual fuses that'll help protect the live scope box and the actual Garmin unit. This is going to go to a Perco switch. You never want to hook this up directly to the positive of the battery because there's still going to be a little bit of amp draw. We don't want that. We also don't want his equipment to be able to turn on when he don't want it to. So just like I did the plug on the outside, I'm going to do a Perco right here. That way he doesn't have to open this every time he wants to turn that power on. It's turned out super clean, looking awesome. Next step is going to be to mount the black box and get this unit mounted. So let's keep going, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's a new day. Left off yesterday talking about getting everything mounted, black box, stuff like that. Noah's back today. He wasn't feeling too great. He's finally back in the shop. He just got the external transducer done on the back of the Pontoon. This customer already has a unit installed here. It's a Simrad, but all it had was down imaging and 2D sonar. Nowadays, we don't want that. We want our side scan, those crisp images, so we can find these brush piles that are holding all these crappie. So we just got the balls out mount done here. Like I said, gonna do a walkthrough so you can see all the stuff up close. But we got the balls out mount done, super sturdy, bolted like always. Don't have to worry about that going anywhere. And now we are going to do the trolling motor. Like I said, we're making all this to where this customer can easily take this stuff off. So we're gonna do a quick release bracket and a Minn Kota Tarova. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we are currently doing some measurements here just to make sure that we have the trolling motor dead centered. We got the quick release bracket on. It's honestly pretty simple. It's gonna be really nice because this customer is gonna be able to remove this easily so that he can, not have it in the way when he doesn't need it. So Noah just got the measurements done and we're about to get this thing bolted up. What's up, everybody? I know in the last clip you saw us getting the trolling motor centered up, getting ready to put it on. We got that done. And sometimes we just get slammed here at the shop. Forgot to do a little bit of vlogging, but we ended up finishing up this Pontoon, so I wanted to do kind of a final walkthrough so you could see everything. So I'm gonna flip this camera around and let's jump right in. So we're gonna start here at the front, guys. We have our Minn Kota Tarova on our quick release mount. We got our plug here for our trolling motor power. I've said this a lot in this video, but this customer wanted to be able to remove all this stuff. So if he's taking his grandkids out and stuff, he can go fishing. So the quick release bracket is really nice for that. All you do is pull the pin, pull this back, and you're good to go. We're gonna go on the water with this customer. So certain things like slack and stuff like that, we can figure out once we get on the water and make sure that's all good. Of course, we have a remote here. We also have a foot pedal. He said he didn't really want to use the foot pedal option, but of course we're gonna still give it to him so he can use it if he'd like to give it a shot. Here we have our NOCO plug. This is for our 3-bank charger. Let's open this up. That's for this right here. That way the customer doesn't have to, open this every single time and leave this open when he wants to charge. Got our trolling motor batteries, everything organized cleanly. And then this here is our lithium battery just for the electronics, which we will go to the console here in a second and check out. Something we did that was really cool in this boat, added this Perco switch here. That way it's not in here. I wanted everything exterior if I could. That way, when you're out on the boat with family, friends, fishing, whatever it may be, you're not trying to lift up all these seats and it just should be annoying. So I think that turned out really clean. You can just turn that and boom, live scope and the unit can now fire up. In here, we have the Garmin black box. Everything zip tied up real cleanly. And of course, we did a Garmin 126 SV. This unit's on sale right now. It's been on sale for a while. Great live scope unit. We also hooked up the ability for him to have side scan, down scan, and 2D. That way he can go out and mark brush piles and find new structure. This is on a balls out mount. This thing's bolted, not going anywhere. Looks super good. And like I said earlier, since we want to be able to remove everything, we have our Garmin live scope on a quick release plug here. This is super nice. We can unplug this and the pole and take it off if we want to store it in the house, in the truck, whatever we want to do. So it's pretty sweet. Completely waterproof. Ain't got to worry about nothing. Here we have the pole. This turned out super clean. This allows for us to be able to have live scope not on the trolling motor. And yeah, it just makes life a heck of a lot easier. So I really like having that. This is removable as well. Since all turned out really clean, guys, appreciate you watching the video. And yeah, stay tuned. We got more coming.